It's 1936, and here I sit, right in the middle of this courtroom in a borrowed floral dress. I suppose this dress is my grandmotherly disguise. They like to call me the Queen of the Outlaws. At 62 years old, I'm looking at a sunset that doesn't offer an open range anymore. It offers iron bars. This is the moment Big Cattle has been waiting decades for. The final move in a war that started when I was just a girl. As every eye in that room lands on me, the air feels stifling. The townsfolk I looked after for decades are crowded onto the spectator benches behind me, elbow to elbow watching the drama unfold. I'd wager the ghosts of Isam Dart and Matt Rash are in attendance too. No one sees them, but their presence hangs in the air. To understand how I ended up here, you've got to turn the clock back to 1877. That was the year my family came to live in Browns Park. We weren't your typical pioneers looking for a plot of dirt to scratch a living out of. My mom and papa were well-educated folks from Arkansas who'd headed west hoping the dry air might help father. Papa was a man of books and big ideas, and truthfully, a western cattle ranch wasn't much of a fit for him. But my mother, she took to ranching like fire to the prairie, and she became the iron backbone of our family. While Papa insisted Ann and I learn reading and such, Mama made sure we knew how to rope a steer, set a broken bone, and run a cattle operation. In a world that mostly prefers its women baking pies, for the help Mama hired on 2 seasoned ranchers, and they became like kin to us girls. Asam Dart was a freed slave with a magic touch for horses, and Matt Rash was a rugged young cowboy with a big heart. Both men adored my sister and I, and when we were home from our boarding schools, we tagged along behind Isam and Matt, supposedly pitching in with the chores, but maybe just being pests. Just like our mama, Ann and I were built for ranch life. Truthfully, our family could not have done it without Isam and Matt. Back then, the big cattle corporations were just getting their start, and they had enough money to write their own rules. Little by little, they grew mean with the small ranchers. They started with lobbying the government and buying off the local sheriff. But those tactics were too slow for them, so they took up more unsavory methods. Before long, the cattle barons became just as prone to criminal acts as the local outlaw gangs, and since they owned the sheriff, they could get away with just about anything. It used to be that unbranded calves on your lands were called mavericks, and you had a right to put your own mark on them. That was the way it had always worked. But the cattle barons wanted to ruin the small ranchers, so they changed the rules. Suddenly claiming a maverick could get you arrested for rustling, and if the barons were feeling mean, it could get you lynched. I, Josie Bassett, at 62 years old, was charged with cattle rustling.